Hello and welcome back to the Next Level Real Estate Show. I am your host, Antonio Levison, your Next Level Realtor. And today we're going to be talking about renting versus buying. We're going to talk about the pros and the cons. We're also going to give you enough information so you can make a decision on which is better for you. We're going to give you all this information and more after this break. See you soon. Alright, now come back. We are here. Again, this is the Next Level Real Estate Show, and I am Antonio Levison, not only your host, but your Next Level Realtor. I service the greater Baltimore area, the Anne Arundel County area, Prince George County's areas, Howard County areas, Baltimore County areas of Maryland as far as real estate. And today we're going to be talking about the pros and cons of renting and buying. But before we jump into this information, I would love for you to help me grow my channel by watching this full video through, liking, sharing, commenting, reposting, telling your friends about it, telling your family about it. If you like the information in this show, help me get the word out so I can help more people become homeowners, sell their homes and buy their second home, second, third, fourth homes, get a vacation home, and just know more information about real estate. So let's jump into renting versus buying. So the first thing we're going to start off with is the pros. Let's begin with the pros of renting and then the pros of buying. So the pros of renting is you have the freedom to move around. You're mobile. You're free to move around. You can do a rent. You can sign a lease for 12 months. And then if you don't like where you're living at, you can go sign another lease for another 12 months. You know what I'm saying? While that's not good because it doesn't show a steady place of residence for more than 2, 3, 5 years, you do have that flexibility when you are a renter. The landlord pays for all the maintenance. So if you're concerned with your roof leaking, or if you're concerned about structural damages or termite damages, or things like holes in walls and stuff like that, if you do not want to have to deal with the maintenance in the house, like the toilet clogging, the sink clogging and stuff like that, then being a renter can be beneficial to you to take away some of that maintenance and pressure of take away from that pressure of maintenance costs and covers and stuff like that. So it doesn't require expensive closing costs. When you become a renter, you're doing first month's, last month's rent, and security deposit. Or first month's rent and security deposit, pretty much. That's first month, last month's rent, first month rent, security deposit. So whatever. So say for instance, if your rent is $1,700 a month, where you're going to pay the first month's rent, which is $1,700, and then you're going to pay a security deposit, which is pretty much the cost of the rent, which will also be $1,700. And it allows you to test drive different areas and spaces. So if you don't know, say for instance you're new to an area and you have absolutely no clue what part of the area you are going to want to live in, what part of the area is going to suit you and your family best, what part of the area is just the most comfortable environment for you, being a renter can help you in that decision, simply because you are able to maybe live in Savannah Park one year, then you could go live in Bowie, Maryland the next year, then maybe you can go move to Cape St. Clair, Maryland the next year, or move up in Catonsville, Maryland, 1 year, just to get a feel of different areas and different environments to see where you stand as far as your living arrangements. Now that we talked about the pros for renting, let's talk about the pros for buying. The pros for buying is, one, you build equity over time. So when you buy a home, as you pay that home down, your equity in that house goes up. So say for instance you buy a house for $150,000. Well, every year, as long as you make your payments on time, and pay that interest off, or put a little extra on your mortgage to pay that interest, that you're going to build equity as you as you live in it, the longer you live in it. So if you live over the course of 5 years, you would gain a certain amount of equity into that home that you can pull out of the home and use it for emergency expenses. Maybe you want to upgrade your home. Maybe you had a death in the family and you really need some cash right now. Having that home as some would say collateral gives you the opportunity to use the equity into the house to get you out of a sticky jam. You have your home values may increase over time. So we're seeing that right now as we are in post-pandemic. Home prices are kind of skyrocketing because the inventory of homes are low, and the buyers pool, the people that are in the market for buying a home, is growing significantly every month. So we're not able to keep enough homes on the market to supplement the buyer's attention. Well, that's making home prices skyrocket and increase. So if you have a home right now that you paid $300,000 maybe in 2015, right now that home you may be able to get $245 to $265 based on your area, based on some of the work you did into your home, based on the environment that your home is in. So that goes back to the value and the equity getting to your home. When your home value increases, guess what also increases? The equity you have in your home. Because if you bought a home for $300,000 and it is now worth, in today's market, $345,000, and you've paid off, let's say, $10,000 of your home, well, guess what? You have about $55,000 worth of equity in that home that you could take out of. You get tax benefits. Oh my goodness. There are so many tax business benefits from being a homeowner. There are so many to count. I'm going to do a video about this in a later video about this, because there's so many tax benefits that you can recover as a homeowner. You got unlimited freedom to customize your living space, so you don't have to ask your landlord if you can hang up pictures. You don't have to ask your landlord if you can change the colors of the walls, if you can knock down walls to make a space bigger, if you can add a bathroom, if you can add a room, add a closet. You don't have to ask your landlord to do any of those things, because you're already able to do those things on your own, because you are the home owner. And last but not least, you have sense of home stability. And a study came out that children do better when they are in a stable home, in a stable home environment, i.e. when they're not moving around and they know that next year we're going to be living in this home, or next year I'm going to be going to the same exact school as I did this year. They begin to get stability in their lives, which means they have an increased chance to just have a better life because of that stability that their parents have provided them. It also gives you stability, because now you are able to actually set roots down in a community and actually make some new friends within your community, meet your neighbors and things like that, because since you bought this home, you're going to be here for minimum 5 to 7 years, unless you really don't like the home and you really don't like the area. Then you can get out of there. So we talked about the pros, and we talked about we talked about the pros of buying and selling. Let's talk about some setbacks, some cons of buying and renting. I said buying and selling before. I'm sorry, I meant buying and renting. So some cons about renting is you don't build any equity. So what we just talked about, a pro was with buying, you build equity. Well, when you're renting someone, you're actually building equity for someone else. You have limited ability to customize your living space. You can't pretty much do anything. You may be able to hang a couple pictures on the wall and stuff like that, but you can't really customize your living space the way you want to. Rent could go up over time, like I said before. You do have some fluctuation in rent, but it's not extreme, but it can happen. Say for instance, you buy a home. When you get a home loan and it's a fixed home loan, your mortgage is going to stay the same for the period of that home loan. But when you're a renter, your rent can fluctuate and it can rise every few years, like I said before. Your your landlord at the drop of any notice might either sell, or they might decide that they don't want to rent their home anymore. They might decide they might come up on hard times. The pandemic hurt a lot of people really, really bad. The recession hurt a lot of people really, really bad. And I know for a fact that some people had to move into their rental properties in order to stay afloat. They had to sell the home that they were living in, and they had to use their rental properties as their primary place of residence because, things were not going well. That was their backup plan. Well, what's your backup plan? So if you're a renter and that happens to your landlord, where's your backup? Where are you going to go? Now you're quintessentially living on the street because you don't have anywhere to go. Your landlord does, because their backup plan is the home that they already have, that you're living in. What's your backup plan? So that's kind of that's a big con for me. And you have a limited sense of home stability. So that's pretty much that's pretty much some of the bigger cons of renting that I've seen that I did when I was doing my research and talking to renters and things like that. Well, what are some cons about buying? Because buying sounds like it's an amazing thing, but there are some drawbacks. Like closing costs can be expensive. Like the rule is whenever you're buying a house, you need to have at least 3% of the value of the home that you intend to buy for closing. So if you're buying a $350,000 home somewhere in there, you need to have about $10,000 to $12,000 saved up for closing costs, because all sellers don't do closing help. You're responsible for all the maintenance and all the repairs, which require time and effort. So if you do have a faucet leak and it's leak in your bathroom and it's leaking into your living room, you can't call the maintenance guy and tell him to come fix it right away. You have to personally call a plumber and wait for that plumber's availability, or call multiple plumbers and get those plumbers availability to come out and fix whatever's leaking in your home. You have less flexibility to move because yes, you own it. So you're gonna have to sell your home before you buy another one, unless you are wealthy and you have a lot of money and you don't have to worry about things like that. But for the average person, in order for you to move from the home that you've bought and you're living in, you're gonna have to sell the home that you're living in right now. And sometimes that takes time. You may be able to sell that home in 7 days and close in another 30, and you're out of your house in a month and a half. Or it might take you 6, 12, 24 months to sell your home, and now you're still back at square one. So you may end up saying, what's the point of selling now? I can't get this thing off the market. That's one drawback about buying a home. Your home value may decrease. If we have something which there's absolutely no indication, disclaimer, there is no indication that this is going to happen anytime soon. But if there was some type of housing crash like there was in 2007 and 2008, your home value will decrease. All the equity that you did put into your home, it can be eliminated because of a housing crisis. Now, the real estate market is extremely strong right now. So there is no sight, no experts, nothing is saying that we are headed for a market crash. As a matter of fact, they are saying the absolute opposite, that the market is gonna stay where it's at and maybe heat up a little bit more going into 2022, into the spring and summer months of 2022. But as of right now, back to what we were saying, your home values may decrease. That's a drawback, but right now we see no signs in that happening. And then recent tax laws that was put on by the administrators, this administration and administration before, does put a little bit of hamper, or it does put a little restrictions on the many tax benefits that home owners before could get on being a homeowner. But at the same time, there are still more tax benefits when it comes to owning than it is when it's renting. Okay? So let's jump into some key points, some questions that I want you to ask yourself. Now, if you're thinking about renting, if you're a renter and thinking about buying, or if you just are in the shuffle and you don't know what you want to do and where you want to go, here's some questions I want you to ask yourself, okay? How long do you plan on living in the area that you live in? Do you see yourself staying where you living at right now, or would you like to go move and go find somewhere else to live to see if you like that neighborhood? Can you afford the cost that comes with becoming a homeowner? Closing costs, maintenance costs, monthly, yearly, annually, semi-annually, water, sewer, the monthly bills to pay, the light, the gas, the water, the sewer, things like that. Can you afford the cost that comes with being a homeowner? Is renting becoming a hassle because of lease agreements and moving? Are you at the point where you're tired of moving? You're tired of signing lease agreements. You're tired of paying someone else's equity, making someone else's equity in their house more and more. If you're tired of doing that, then buying a home may be for you. Are you still deciding if settling in one place is right for you at this time? So if you're still looking at, oh, I might want to live over here. I might want to live over here in Bowie, but I kind of like it in Pasadena also, and you have no, and you're still on the fence. It may be a good idea to hold on and wait, and to really see what you're looking for in a home, in the area. And last but not least, what term of mortgage will you be comfortable with? Would you be comfortable with a 10-year mortgage, a 15, or a 30-year mortgage? These 5 questions are questions that you really want to ask yourself when you're considering going from renting to buying. And if the answer to some of these questions are leaning more towards renting, then I would advise you to stay a renter for a little while longer. But if you are able to afford if you are able to afford the closing costs and stuff like that, and everything that comes with being a homeowner, then becoming a home owner and buying your first home should be in your plans within the near future. So, what's better, buying or renting? The answer will be different for every person. Some may say renting is more comfortable for me. Some may say I need to have a home. I need ownership stake in this world. But I did a pros and cons list, and I came up with my answer on which is better, renting or buying. Financially, buying makes a lot more sense when it comes to tax breaks, the increase in property values that we're seeing right now, the freedom to customize your own space, which gives you some type of power inside your own home, the family stability that presents itself, and a lot more reasons is why I believe that buying a home and being a homeowner and having that ownership in your home and in yourself is more valuable than renting. Could there be benefits to renting? Yes, it could. But if you think about this, if you are renting, who's building equity? You or your landlord? See, everything you want to be doing in life, especially when it comes to real estate, you want to be building equity and building equity as fast as you can. Can you capitalize on your rental payments that you're paying? So the number one question that you want to ask yourself when your lease is up is am I ready to be a home buyer? Am I ready to take that next step in my life and really buckle down and take care of my finances, take care of my credit, and become a home buyer? If that question is yes, I want you guys to pause this video, pick up your phone, and contact me, Antonio Levison, your next level realtor. Because I will break my back looking for you a home, and I won't stop until I do the job. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Renting versus Buying on the Next Level Real Estate Show. My name is Antonio Levison, your next level realtor. And remember, when you conquer the day, you conquer your life. And we'll see you at the top, because there's no place better. God bless, and I'll see you in the next episode.